Hey everyone, it's your girl Monica Leigh, and welcome to another episode at the Drive Thru. For all of you that have been pulling up since the beginning, welcome back and thank you, thank you, thank you. And for all my newcomers, listeners, thank you for pulling up. I've been thinking about something lately, and I feel like this is one of those conversations that a lot of people are quietly dealing with, but maybe are not really talking about. And that is, how do you keep moving forward while you're still healing? Because healing doesn't just happen in a perfect moment. And it doesn't happen when everything stops. Sometimes you are healing while life is still going. And for a lot of us, this is where we are. Whether we are aware of it or not, it's happening. And I think that's where it gets complicated because, people will tell you, take your time or slow down or just focus on yourself. How many of us have heard that before? But real life doesn't always give you that option because you're still going to have responsibilities. You are still going to have expectations, and you still are going to have things and multiple things that require you to show up. So now you're in this space where you're trying to move forward, but part of you is still processing. And some of us are still hurting, all the while trying to continue to figure things out and whatever that looks like. There's really no one that can tell you how to balance that. And that's just the truth, because those same people that are trying to give you the advice on what you should do or how to heal and how do you cope with it, those two are the same very people that are still trying to figure it out themselves. But there always seems to be what we call an internal conflict. The truth is, when it comes to healing, it isn't clean, okay? It's not this straight line where one day you're fine and the next day everything just makes sense. Although and I say we for people that have dealt with this or that are dealing with this now, we tend to fall into this routine that if you are dealing with a healing journey right now, or even if you've dealt with it and and you're looking back on how you coped with it, how you got through with it, I'm pretty sure that a lot of people could say or would say, you know what, even though I was in the process of healing, I just needed to show up to so many other priorities or people that needed me. All the while, you were neglecting showing up for yourself. And that's okay. That's okay because as human beings, we don't like to necessarily let people know what's going on internally with us. Because if we should even show a glimpse of it on the way we react to things that people say or do, the first thing people are going to be asking is, are you okay? Is there something bothering you? What's wrong? So there's not a point where you're fine one day and that automatically translates to you can get past the healing or you're automatically fixed. No, there are a lot of people that are still dealing with so much, that they've not gotten over. And I'm not even talking about months. I'm even talking about years that they're still trying to process. And it's a real thing. Some days you feel good. Some days you don't. Some days you're strong And let me just tell you, on the days that you feel strong, you feel really good. But are we feeling good because we're showing up to be strong for others that need us? Are we feeling good because in that moment we're showing up as a strong person for ourselves? And some days you're just trying to hold it all together. And it doesn't mean you're not healing. It just means you're human. Because the last thing that we want to do is to let somebody else down, especially people that value us, people that lean on us, the people that trust us. These are important aspects and they mean something to us. Even if it's just one person in your life that you rely on or vice versa, the last thing we want to let them know is that there's something wrong. But again, you're human. You are allowed to feel that you yourself are still trying to figure things out. And that usually translates to, okay, so how do I just let go? And I don't think there's such a thing of letting go of perfect healing. I think people heal and they adapt to what is comfortable for them. That doesn't translate to the same thing to every person, and that is okay. I think a lot of people get stuck because they feel like they have to be fully healed before they move forward. Like, I need to fix this first. I need to be okay first. I need to have it all together first. And let me just stop for a second. Because if you go back and just listen to what I said, I use words like fix, okay, have it all together. These are what I would call cushion things to say to people. It's not saying that you're not being honest or somewhat honest with yourself, that is. It's just saying that you acknowledge that there are things that you still need to work on. And sometimes that could be a lifetime of ways to maneuver to get to the point where you can finally say, I feel like myself again. I finally feel like myself. And also with healing, I think it is very indicative on what the healing looks like to you. And more importantly, what it is that you're trying to heal from. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's something traumatic that you've experienced, or it doesn't need to translate to a death or childhood trauma. But at the same time, it could very well be that too. But it also could be maybe just a relationship. Maybe you're just trying to get back in the dating world. Maybe you're just trying to build up enough trust to be able to share again. So there's so many different scenarios and so many different types of healing. Therefore, everyone heals at their own pace, on their own time, relating to different things. So again, when we hear things like, I need to fix this first, I need to be okay first, I need to have it all together first. And again, in that moment, it does sound good. But the truth of the matter is, it's not always realistic, because we know that if you wait until everything feels perfect, you actually might stay stuck a lot longer than you need to. And sometimes that's where moving forward becomes part of the healing process, because life does not stop moving because we have a bad day, we had an argument, this happened, that happened. Life is going to keep moving regardless. And there is such a thing of learning to heal as you move forward, because part of the healing process is learning what feels right to us versus the way things that don't suit us. It's okay. Learn as you go. It's normal. Because eventually what will happen as we start to move forward, there's a shift that seems to happen, right? And like I just previously stated, is that healing and moving can actually coexist. Okay. And this is the part I really want you to hear. You don't have to choose. Okay. You don't have to choose between healing and moving forward, because the beauty in it is that you can do both simultaneously. You can do both. And sometimes we tend to overthink this because we are already trying to figure out, what does our healing journey look like? Oh, so I need to do A, B, and C before I get to D. But who's to say that it actually has to be in that order? Because the way that we heal is based off of how we feel, how our emotions are. Because some days, when you're having a good day and you can actually say that out loud or even share that with somebody, that is a part of healing. And also be reminded that healing, it doesn't happen overnight. It's not going to be consecutive like the days in the week. It doesn't work like that. Healing is a part of being patient with yourself. Also, being patient with your feelings, because those are your feelings and your feelings alone. And no one ever can tell you how to feel. Even if they want to, you own the rights to those feelings. So remember, you can still move forward and heal at the same time. You can still show up while you are working through things internally. And you can still grow. You can still grow while you're still processing this. Again, this is not a race to the finish line. Because why would you rush to heal yourself if you know that you've not gone through everything that you needed to do to get to the end, right? You should be able to tell yourself when you know you are healed. And you are going to be the only one that knows when you heal. So you can still move. Even if you don't feel 100% yet. And that doesn't make you fake. It doesn't make you seem like you are not being honest with yourself. In fact, that just makes you resilient. And you should be proud about that. Baby steps. Baby steps. And, as we talk about this, there's a lot of times where we can actually relate to these topics. Okay. For example, you're going to work while you're dealing with something personal. Okay. We all have done that before, right? You are still expected to get up in the morning. If you have kids, if you have a spouse, get everybody else, going in the morning, moving in the morning. And yet you're still expected to fulfill whatever that day expects from you. And you get to work and you still have to keep just doing it. It doesn't mean you've forgotten about how you feel, but it means though that you need to also be reminded that time is not going to stop for your healing, your problems, your issues that you're dealing with right now. It's not. Or even showing up for people, especially when you're still trying to pour back into your own self. This is probably one of the most common scenarios. that we get spread thin because this person needs us, this person's texting us, this person needs, us to meet with them because they're having their own life issues right now and they can't call in anybody else because, that person probably wouldn't understand. And they pour all their trust and confidence into you to be able to help them make the best decision. And then it turns into making decisions while you're still unsure yourself. And from the outside, what does it look like? It looks fine. It's kind of like I always say, like with social media. I'm not saying that people aren't happy on social media or they're enjoying their life or, they are just feeling fantastic, because I'm sure that they probably are. But also be reminded that people are only sharing and showing you what they choose to do so. And it comes down to that point. We appear to look fine, but on the inside, we're dealing with our own battles. We're trying to learn how to cope with what we are also dealing with too. And that can become very heavy. But just be reminded, even on the inside, you're still doing work. And that's something that people don't always see, but it still counts. I think the biggest takeaway from this specific topic is, if you are in this type of a space right now, when you feel like you're moving forward, but you know that you are still needing to heal, you don't need to have it all figured out. That's the great thing about pacing yourself and taking your own time. You don't have to have it all figured out. And especially in order to keep going, you definitely don't need to have it all figured out. Because healing doesn't mean stopping your life. It just means being honest about where you are while you continue to move. And as you continue to move, you are also growing. And you know what? That's an amazing thing. Like I always say, you have to grow through what you go through. And that just becomes another chapter in your own life story. Just another chapter. And a chapter that you wrote yourself. So, as we wrap up today's episode, I just want to remind you all to give yourself some grace. Let yourself grow and heal at the same time, because remember, both can exist. As always, if this specific topic resonated with you, or you know someone that it could help, please share it with them. So until next time, don't forget to pull up, same time, same place, every Thursday at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. And until then, take care of you. See you soon. Bye.